I think it's pretty obvious we don't know what we're talking about, so I think everything's good.
Now y'all know what's wrong with me. And on that note,
I don't even know if it was bad wrestling. I just know that it was bad on our part. Go support your team. Go
Yes.
support band, cheerleaders.
The autumn mix inspired Michael Ball. It's the first time he's ever raised his hands on a yes.
Well,
so that's pretty impressive.
Scare that referee coming back. Let's talk a little football.
Welcome, everybody, to the Press Box. I am so glad you could join us for another bit of wisdom and fun here from these guys here. Let's introduce ourselves here. Let's start over here with this guy in the Thomas County Central.
You've just given up, haven't you?
I know.
Okay, I'm not going to do it to you.
It's
Andy
okay.
Young.
Michael Best. Jim Rayburn.
There we go. And everybody got it right.
Everybody got it right. And
You know who
With
you
my
are.
short-term memory, I'm surprised.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well,
We're back again.
That's right.
Here we are.
And
back again. That's right.
anyway, so hopefully we'll remember all the scores and go through the order correctly. We shall see. But K-Road, 27-14 winners over Pelham. Tell me about the game, Michael, and give us a little scouting report on Pelham as well. They look to be
Pelham
pretty
wound up being a
solid.
little more battle than a lot of people thought. They thought we'd go up there and beat them pretty bad. We're kind of beat up right now. We've got about 6 starters out. We lost our starting free safety in the Ware County game. He hasn't been back yet. Hopefully he'll be back by region. And then we wound up moving because we lost another free safety, so we wound up moving our star receiver, Tyree, over to the other side, and Tyree Kelly is playing free safety and receiver. Had about 10 tackles. Did a good job. This may be the place for him. He did a good job. But we've got one of our linebackers broke his pinky in one game and then broke the pinky in the other side in the next game. He looked like Edward Scissorhands out there, with his fingers.
No pinky swearing for him.
We had a kid,
no pinky
another
promise.
kid. We got one with a broken hand. We've got one with a broken foot. We've got just some things. And it's been since the beginning. They're coming out of it, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks they'll get back in. But the big thing has been the next man up. A lot of people have stepped up, and we've got several players that are playing both ways. And so I know sometime late in the game, people, we're out of, the word from the fan, well, they're out of shape, they're cramped. Well, these guys never come off the field. And a couple of them are, R.W. Jones, Cade Puckett, they're big boys, and they play offense, defense, and special teams. And so Cade is a deep snapper, so he is also, offensive line, defensive line, so he's on every play. And so late in the game, you always run that risk because they may cramp up a little bit, but. We battled them. They run that split veer, Leonard Guyton's over there, and they do a good job with it. They got a good quarterback, and we haven't seen the split veer in a while. In fact, nobody on this team's ever seen it because, they haven't been running a while. So,
but you know how to defend it.
well, I knew, and so I was waiting on, I was able to give them some
You're waiting on the
pointers.
phone call.
And but we finally got it figured out. And second half, our defense really rose up. I think they wound up with 35 yards of offense in the second half. We blocked 2 punts. And both of them resulted in scores for us because the offense kind of, after the first half, the offense put up some points, and then second half just had a hard time connecting on passes, and our starting running backs out, so we had a backup running back in there, and he had a pretty good game, but still you don't have your starters in there. But we won the game, and it never really was. At one point, it was 20-14, and you kept thinking they score one more time, we can take the lead.
It's pretty close.
We were able to block a punt late and then score to put it away, and that was moved us to 3-2, which is good.
And the problem is with all these injuries is now you have juggernauts coming in town. Salem Seminoles. How's this going to go?
Well, how good the Seminoles are. You probably watched them Friday night, and Seminoles don't play.
They're back, too.
They're back. Seminoles are back. So. They're the next team on the schedule, and so we've got to play them. Got to find a way to win.
Got to find a way to win.
As Jim and I said before we started recording, they are the Georgia Matanzas.
Well,
Which keeps the streak alive. How many years? I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Yeah, we need to
we've used the word Matanzas in a
true.
sentence, but this could be that, and hopefully we'll have a.
Well, how have they done this year? Give us a review of how
they've played in 4 games. They've had 4 games this year that they've
competed
played in, and we got Bainbridge coming
Yeah.
up later in the year. I don't know if I mentioned that, but they're coming up toward the end of the year when
Good
you just start
diversion.
talking about stuff.
Good deflection,
But we do have a big challenge. It's back at home again.
That's a big one.
Seven games at home, and we've been doing some different things where we recognize and honor, trying to give back to the community as much as we can. This week we're going to be recognizing our softball team. They are undefeated, and
Wow.
they play Bainbridge next week for the region championship. So we're excited about that. And we're going to recognize them between the first and second quarter. Hopefully it doesn't take up as much time as South Carolina's recognition did between first
Yeah.
and second quarter. And then we've been going the route of honorary captains this year to kind of recognize people that give back to the community. And this week it's going to be Brandy Puckett, who does our big run-through sign. She's
Awesome.
been doing it
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah, they do it.
And
She does a
so
great
we're going to
job.
recognize her this week.
All right, and then Pelham will host Bleckley County. They're 4-0. They seem to be pretty sporty right there.
Bleckley's real good.
Yeah, so they got a challenge there. We thought Thomasville would have a challenge, but Thomasville beat Tiff 28-7. Let's talk about that win. To me, the Dogs started fast, which is a great sign for the Dogs to come out and beat Tiff County.
Been trying to get them to start fast for about the last 5 years. First quarter's been a bad quarter for Thomasville the last 5 years. Of course, Tipton onside kick, the opening kickoff. We recovered it at our 49. Didn't take many plays for we were in the end zone. In fact, Levante Cole, a freshman, got his first varsity touchdown, and we go up 7-0.
Did you get real excited when you saw the wishbone formation? Was that the drive?
That was the drive
There we
where
go.
they got
Old time.
Well, we got under
formation
center.
for
That's
you.
what some of our fans been wanting us to do. We actually got under center,
Yeah.
which has not been happening in years and
Yeah.
years and years. So when you see that, and like
And
I
the
said,
wishbone,
and the
you got
wishbone,
excited.
it was not the option wishbone.
Yes,
It was just
yeah.
turn and
It-
hand.
yeah.
But anyway, we were in the famous Bulldog wishbone, if you want to look at it like that. Then, of course, we stopped them, got the ball back at like our 40-yard line, and then Cam Hill, who had, I think he was 7 of 11 for 179 yards and two touchdowns, hit DJ Thurman for a big touchdown that was nominated as one of the plays of the week for Channel 10. But so we're up 14-0. Seem to be playing well, but then we give up a touchdown. It's 14-7, but it doesn't take long before
They respond.
Demario
next drive.
responds with a big catch in the end zone on Jackson Street, and we're 21-7 and 28-7 at halftime. And second half was just, we didn't play as well in the second half, but luckily we were playing somebody that didn't have much offense.
Yeah, and had athletes but didn't have offense.
Had a lot of athletes, had a great wide receiver, and he played defensive back also, but they just don't have the numbers that, and just last year they were 7A. Now they're 6A, but
They don't have the
they
numbers.
don't
in
have the
football, do they?
numbers, about 45 players dressed out.
Yeah.
And with 40 or 45 players, they had like six duplicate numbers on 12 play.
Yeah.
What
So
the
it has an
heck?
announcer. That was
so
fun.
you just say, well, number 5.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about for the game. They got 2 number 5s, 2 number 8s,
And 45 guys on the
and
roster.
45
Yeah.
guys on the right. Then they got a big roster over to the side that has no
numbers.
numbers.
Golly.
Okay.
So anyway, Dogs get a big win. That moves us to 2-3.
Going to open week.
We got open, so we should be able to handle that. I think we'll probably play a lot of more freshmen this week.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
we did
yeah.
play a lot of freshmen Friday night. And
Good to see.
Played one of the twins at cornerback quite a bit. Of course, Levante Cole, the freshman, I think he had 7 carries. Had a pretty good night for him. And all in all, our best linebacker, Evan Wynn, was out. He has a little hip flexor, so we're not sure when he'll be back. But we got to open, and then we go next week
To the
Monday-
friendly
to the
confines.
confines in the good life city of Albany to take on Monroe. At least it's
Yeah.
not Halloween.
And I think it's good on an open to have that kind of. Those Thursday night games are just weird to me. They always have weird results. You guys we've all talked about that over the years.
We have not played a Thursday night game since Albany High was in existence,
Yeah,
because they used to play a lot on Thursday.
it's
But
been a while.
we got them, and then the following week is the big ball game when we host Carver.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk. Thomas County Central had a good week against Open.
Yeah, didn't lose. That's a good thing.
Didn't lose.
Play a lot of freshmen.
A lot of freshmen got in there. Sure
Yeah.
did.
Tell me, got injury. Everybody's kind of getting back, or how are you looking injury wise? And then of course you're playing Godby, and maybe some for y'all just kind of keep focusing, keep doing what you're doing, which is not easy for 16 and 17-year-olds to do.
Well, we've talked about this many times here. Open weeks, are they good? Are they bad?
Yeah.
And you hate to break up momentum when you've got it. And unfortunately, it kind of came at a time when our guys have been playing pretty good. But on the other side of that coin, we've been without Adam Hopkins the last couple of games. He's been fighting a deep shoulder bruise since the summer and got hit on it really early in the first quarter against Bainbridge. And he didn't play at all against Childs. So we haven't seen him literally in 2 games. And hopefully we can get him back. He committed to Auburn this past week, and he wants to get back on the field. And he gives us an element offensively that we just don't have. When you can kind of create a short passing game with your tight end and Tyler Floyd and the running backs and get the linebackers and the defensive backs playing up a little bit, he gives you a chance. I mean, he's got 4.38 speed to get deep. And hopefully that's what we did against Cairo a lot.
Several times. I got tired of watching him.
We're pretty good.
We need to pray for Adam and some of his choices.
Well,
After watching Auburn Saturday, we need to pray for him.
I'm not going
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I hadn't had a chance to talk to him yet. I'll just put it to you that way. But anyway,
Congratulations to wherever they go. We
Yeah,
kid
yeah,
around,
absolutely.
you know,
In fact,
but-
he's
but
Great
it's-
job he's getting an education.
That's
right,
it.
right,
That's it.
right.
That's
We're
it.
happy
That's
with
it.
all that, but we all root for our colleges too. But anyway, go ahead.
And the
Randy.
Auburn folks are happy.
Oh, yeah.
The
Sure,
Auburn
yeah,
folks
sure.
are happy. But anyway, hopefully we can get him back in the fold and get him and the whole team back to the momentum we had before the open break, because this is the last non-region game, and then the Goliath part of the schedule starts.
Yeah, and you want to be just playing at a high level.
Yeah.
You know, and you are that defense, especially playing at a high level. Give me some stats there about that defense.
Pretty impressive. The starters have given up 17 points in 4 games. And we've given up a touchdown against Bainbridge. They blocked a punt. They got a touchdown. Childs did against our reserves. And we had a safety where we stepped in the end zone and slipped and fell against Childs. But other than that, there just hasn't been much. We gave up 3 points in the Childs game. The starters did. So, again, just real pleased. I mean, the offense, 158 points. I mean, they're averaging right at 40 points a game. So, right now, you just hope that momentum carries over.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of the off week, is that you've kind of played with the mojo, and hopefully it'll come back.
Well,
We'll
that's
see.
just great. We wish all the best.
We always play good after an open week under Zach Graves. Now, I'm not sure how it'll be now.
Yeah, you know.
Well,
you
and
know,
we're-
Some coaches have a way.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
talked about this. I mean, some open weeks are good, and then
Yeah.
other open weeks aren't that
Yeah.
good. So we'll see. And it doesn't sound like, according to Mr. Best over here, that Godby's going to bring a lot to the table. Got a good
Got a
quarterback,
good quarterback.
decent receiver.
Yeah, we got one good receiver.
Okay.
So, but
Kind of
y'all,
like Matanzas.
y'all kill
Yeah.
it.
Can't
I
be
mean,
Matanzas now.
Y'all kill
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm not worried.
Salemish, maybe?
You know, they're,
I wouldn't worry about this one this week.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
but
be-
then, I mean, after this
Yeah,
one, this
then
is
then
when
you're
it-
then you
That's
start
right.
worrying.
We're open, and there's not a decent ball game around it unless I drive to Moultrie.
Yeah. So
and
hey,
Cochran's
hey,
got who?
listen,
Yeah,
I'd love, to
Cochran's
have,
got
you-
Cedar
I'd love to
Grove.
have you in the press box. Come
yeah,
on, be my
hey,
guest.
let's do it.
Feed
I
you
don't
some
need to
chicken
see
wings.
Salem. I don't need to see Salem.
You can come bust the Gobby if you want to. I'm
Yeah,
just
come on
saying.
over to Brookwood, man. You can watch John Millage, who hadn't lost a game since 2008.
That Colquitt game's going to be good.
I mean,
though,
2018.
man.
Yeah, that
Colquitt
Colquitt game's going to be good. Let's talk about Colquitt. They had open week. They're going to play a really good Cedar Grove. What do you guys know about the Cedar Grove team? I know they're ranked number 1 even after losing. They beat Bainbridge, Westlake, and Collins Hill. So
They beat Bainbridge in Bainbridge and beat them pretty handily. And that was the first game of the season when Bainbridge had everybody. I think,
Defending state champs too.
yeah,
I think.
yeah, in AAA. And
so they're you think they're the best in AAA?
Probably so.
Yeah. All right. So
and
Colquitt's
what-
been rolling.
Jim, is it true that they don't have a home stadium and they play other games?
First
on the
I'd
road?
heard was when
Okay.
you said that.
Because
They have a lot of away games.
Yeah, there was a report, and I want to say it was on Georgia Public Television last year, deep in the playoffs, where they had a thing about them and how they have to borrow stadiums for home games, and so they just schedule pretty much all their games or away games.
Could
Wow.
you people get a splosh going or something?
Yeah.
Get them
Somebody
a
help
stadium?
them out.
Yeah.
I mean, doggone,
Get
that's the
them
number 1
stadium.
team in the state. It's defending state champs, so they deserve it.
They deserve
Anyway,
it. They do.
That ought to be a great game, though.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Brookwood is also coming off an open week, and they play John Millage. John Millage has not scored less than 42 points all year, and they haven't lost since November 30th, 2018.
What?
So, yep. Yep. So
Okay.
pretty sporty team. Although they haven't really the 4 teams they beat this year have a combined total of 4 wins. So it'd be interesting if Brookwood can hit them in the mouth and surprise them a little bit.
They're hosting them?
They're hosting them. They're coming to Warrior Field. And JMA haven't. Some private schools can schedule public schools and challenge themselves, and John Milledge hasn't. So, maybe if they get hit in the mouth, we'll see what happens. So, also on the slate, Mitchell County is going to host Early County, and that's the first region game
That's
for,
a big
for
game.
Mitchell County.
It's a
Big game for them.
That's a classification game there.
Yeah, so that's going to be
Early's undefeated, so
Early's looking good as they step down. So, and we hope we're going to be looking good. We're going to do the college edition of the press box.
that's the pipe dream.
Yeah, we wish.
Damage to underground utility lines is a problem in the United States, and unsafe digging practices is a major cause. Unsafe digging can compromise community safety and disconnect people from critical services. Contractors, homeowners, and other utility owners need to be safe. Here's a few things to remember. Call 811 before digging. Wait the required time. Respect the marks and flags. Dig with care. If damage occurs, call your local utility provider and then make the call to 811.
And welcome back to the press box. Thanks for sticking with us. Let's talk a little college football. Let's talk Georgia. Again, great team, hard to talk about. It's hard to find stuff to complain
It's
about.
real easy to talk about them.
It's kind of
on
like
this side of the table.
it's kind of like the Salem Seminoles are so good. You have to just find stuff to nitpick here. But
My big concern, me and Kirby both,
Yeah,
are
y'all-
worried about
'cause y'all tight.
opposition on defense.
Well, you know what? When you walk
eye
off the
discipline.
field and you've got eye discipline issues
Yeah.
on defense specifically.
We got to get our eyes right.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
lining up and looking around. Clearly, I don't know. You can't have that.
And I don't know how you can see that from the sidelines too.
Kirby's
That's how
good.
good
Now.
Kirby
Kirby's
is.
on top of it. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Well, one thing I liked about the South Carolina game is that Georgia, instead of a controlled running game, they kind of had a controlled passing game. So it's kind of like, to me, Kirby's kind of updated his the way he wants to dominate games is, hey, if they give us a short pass, we're going to take it. We're going to control the game that way. And you should with those tight ends that you have.
Can I tell you the most exciting part of the game to me? I didn't watch much of
Yeah.
it. That was when the South Carolina coach got mad at his kids that was
Yeah, with his on the
doing
field.
the honor, and he was getting mad
And
with
they
the
were-
referees over that, and that was
they-
his school.
That was
They
the
were
best part of
honoring the
game.
50th anniversary of Title IX. So, the next week it was like.
It was 400
Beamer
girls.
doesn't like Title IX.
Yeah,
That was the big.
poor, can't win that, but
He was agitated at the referees. Get him
Yeah.
off the field. Get him off the
But
field.
your people.
It's ironic that they're honoring Title IX and they march these 400 girls onto the field. The moment they get lined up, they're chasing them off. They
Yeah.
didn't do anything. They didn't even say, hey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And I did see that apparently Kirby's got an NIL deal with Massey Ferguson Tractors, I guess,
okay,
because he did a little commercial during the game.
They
I
still
don't know if you
make
saw.
those?
When
They
they got a
still make
first
those?
down, you could very clearly see that he said first down, Massey Ferguson.
I
Yeah,
got
that's
you.
what he said.
I got
So
you.
that was the
Exactly what he said.
NIL deal.
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they made those
Well, I think they're
anymore.
going to
Yeah,
start
yeah.
making them again
Yeah.
because he was advertising for it.
So
I
that's
got
a
you.
good thing.
I got you. So don't read lips when
Well,
you're
that's
watching
what he
Kirby.
said.
Michael's bad at
Massey
Michael's
Ferguson.
bad at reading lips.
That's
People will think something else. Just
Yeah,
because
just
that's
because you
people's
got
nature.
just because you got hate in your heart, I can't
That's
help
it.
it.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
true.
People
That's
are looking
true.
for
Yeah.
the negative.
when you got love in your heart like Michael.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
so let's talk football for goodness sake
Back to
here.
football.
Yeah.
What I was going to add, Georgia, I think, has made a conscious decision to throw the football a lot more this year.
Yeah,
And
but
there's
they
nothing
can
wrong
still
with
control
that.
the game with that,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I
there's
like.
nothing wrong with that, and they're using the backs as part of
Yeah.
it. But at some point in time, I hope we get to see them line up
Yeah.
and run the football. They just
Yeah.
have not done that yet. They haven't had to.
They probably will do that against Kent State just to kind of get that
To prove the point, I
going and
guess.
prove
Yeah,
the point.
yeah.
But I do think, to me, if SEC defenses are looking at this, maybe they're going to be, okay, well, let's play the short pass and say beat us deep, which Georgia can do, but pick your poison. I would pick the poison.
What was the final score of that game?
The Georgia game?
Is it 45?
45
47?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
scored
seven.
late.
So Alabama scored 68. Y'all scored 45. So guess what the Buckeyes did?
What's that?
77.
All right.
Wasn't gonna
Played
be
Salem?
outdone. Wasn't-
Yeah.
No, it was Salem.
Yeah.
Akron, Salem.
The Zips.
Yeah.
The Zips.
But I do like that Kirby is just trying. If that's where your strengths are, then go to it and play to it. And you know, Stetson Bennett is real accurate out there.
man,
so, I
he
mean,
put
he
on
just
a show
doesn't
last
miss.
They're evidently the best team in college football. I think we ought to cancel the playoffs and just give them the trophy.
No.
Well, I've been saying for several years that Stetson
Was the man.
Yeah,
Was
I
the
mean,
man.
you were an early adopter. You
one
got
of
a
the
lot of
first
faith in
guys
him.
to really put.
Didn't he have some pretty slick little runs though last week?
He did.
We need to do some video highlights of his praising Stetson Bennett.
And send it
we'll
to
go.
Stetson Bennett, as a matter of fact, because I'm sure he heard that Michael Best.
I hated,
That's why Stetson threw up on the field.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he got a little over,
Nerves.
just,
Yeah,
yeah. All that
just
pressure.
overhydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Just
happens.
overhydrated.
Maybe had too much eye discipline issue
He
out
did.
there on the field. He was looking around too much.
Too many girls in the stands.
That could be an issue. I can see that.
Because all those tiny line girls were there.
Yeah.
That's it. Hopefully, it didn't make him throw up though. I mean,
Just,
Yeah.
we got more.
All right, let's get this on the tracks here. Let's talk Florida State, big win over Louisville. And then now they got Boston College coming to town, 8 o'clock prime time. Jordan Travis got hurt. Tate Rodemaker came in and played really well, South Georgia guy.
Didn't play
And,
well to start with.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
scared me. I thought we were going to lose. Again, I had as much faith in Rodemaker as you did in Stetson Bennett last year. And
Shaved
but
Shaved wrong.
I was wrong. He came in and played well.
Is it the Wilson kid, the big tall kid that caught all the
Yeah,
passes?
yeah.
How did Arizona State not throw in the football?
I
It's
don't
the
know.
truth. They said he had like 118.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why
total
Herm
yards.
Yeah, it
Edwards
didn't
got
have-
fired.
Yeah, maybe
They
so.
saw how good he did at
Yeah.
FSU, and they had this 6'7" guy they're not throwing the ball to.
Now, to his credit, I think he's hadn't caught the ball very well early on in his career, and he's fixed that.
He's worked
obviously
on that and
with-
fixed it.
He's done a really good job. He's a huge
Let's
weapon.
don't jinx him, though.
I know. Let's don't do that. And kudos for FSU winning this. They had every excuse to lose with getting basically anybody who they did not need to get hurt got hurt.
But that's a game a couple of years, in the last couple
Yeah.
of years they lose.
Last year they
Period.
lose this game.
Yep.
Yeah, so really good to see a good culture being built
Yep.
by Coach Norvell there. So
Good running game, too.
yeah,
Yes.
good running game. You know, the offensive line, I think, run
Vastly
blocks
improved.
really well.
Vastly improved.
Got some work to do on the pass blocking side. With Travis dinged up, you're favored over Boston College, but you got to win it. Who do you start here, Jim?
gotta
Rodemaker
start-
or Travis?
You guys start Rodemaker, not Rodemaker.
No, Rodemaker.
Rodemaker. It's South Georgia Rodemaker.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Cairo,
Now you got
Cairo.
Cairo. No, it's Cairo syrup. You got to start Rodemaker. You got some big games coming up. You need Travis 100%. And if he's not 100%, there's no use taking
Yeah.
a chance
Now-
unless you way behind and you put him in there to bring you back.
Yeah, you may. It'd be
Just
interesting
don't-
to see what call they have to make.
Don't let it come down to a field goal.
And you know, the other thing too is they didn't ask him to do very much, and didn't ask Rodemaker to do very much. And so if you're the BC defensive coordinator, you say, well, okay, here's the RPO. You know, they make it just throw some trouble his way. So run game, I think, is going to be big for this BC game. So. Any other comments on that before we get to yes, no? Randy, you had something?
Just impressed. I mean,
Yeah.
again, just like we said, that's a game last year or the previous years that they lose. They found a way to win it. And Rodemaker looked good toward
Yeah.
the end of the game.
It's very good to see, like, you know, you kept on hearing he was good in practice and hearing it and not seeing it. So really just excited for him and his family. I know you've got connections there, but to come out and have a great game. We're going to need him to play well for us to have a
So,
successful
Michael, are they
season.
officially back now?
They're
I-
back. They've
I
been
don't-
back. They're
I don't-
back.
I
Heck
don't-
yeah, they're
I'm not
back.
proclaiming it yet.
They're
so.
back. They're back.
I am going to proclaim it as yes, no time. So here we
Get it.
go.
Here we go.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk, Randy. Georgia tight end Brock Bowers is the best player in the SEC.
No.
You say no? Michael?
No,
No?
he's pretty close.
He's close.
He's awful close.
Yeah, he's
He may not be.
maybe Will Anderson, and then maybe he's the second best player in the SEC.
Yeah.
He's a stud, man.
I'd go there.
He's fun to watch. All right, Michael. Kentucky Wildcats are the third best team in the SEC.
Yes.
You say yes?
I think so. I don't know who would be better.
Randy? Okay, so kind of in that third place could be Arkansas, Texas A&M, Tennessee, Florida. We're going to put, obviously, Alabama and Georgia. Georgia first, Alabama second. But
I'm
Randy,
going to say no.
you going to say no?
I'm gonna say
Who's
no.
third?
Tennessee.
All right.
I'm gonna say yes.
You say yes?
They give Tennessee fits anyway.
Yeah, they're impressive. If their quarterback continue, he's a huge pro prospect, but if he continues to get better, they will be.
Yeah, they'll be tough.
They'll be tough. All right, Michael. Close games. against non-Power 5 teams, which we saw that a lot this week. Close games against non-Power 5 teams is the new normal.
Seems like it, yes.
So you say yes. Yeah, see, Arkansas barely pulling one out against Missouri
I'll say
State.
Yes. I'll say
I
yes.
say yes.
I say yes because the transfer portal.
Transfer portal
Yes.
is even
And you're
everything
spreading,
out.
you're spreading the players out. Some of the good players out. Well, I can go to App State or somewhere and play
And
Yes.
Star.
and star.
And
Now, we've
and-
talked about parity, but what Jim just nailed, the transfer portal has made it even much more even as far as the playing field is concerned.
Yeah,
big
there's-
time.
You better have your A game when you go to play somebody.
yeah, there's not as many gimmies out there as
Nope.
there used to. Not
It's
as
just
many
like the
Kansas's.
Akron had a quarterback. I called him Charlie Ward.
Yeah, yeah.
He gave him fits for a while till they kind of wore him down. But I mean, here's a kid that he could go to Georgia and start. He could start at Ohio State.
All right, we know how Randy's going to answer this, but Tennessee will find a way to lose to Florida.
No.
You say no.
Not this year.
You say no.
Where's it at?
It's going to be in Knoxville.
Knoxville.
Game day's there at 3:30 CBS time.
I say no.
Say no. Okay, all right. I hope Tennessee, just like Florida State, kind of makes that next jump. Good team, impressive team.
Florida is really struggling.
Florida struggling.
Anthony Richardson has more tackles right now than he has touchdown passes.
Maybe he's hurt, something like that.
I don't
He
know.
doesn't
Something's
look
not right.
So I don't know. All right, so here we go, Jim. Urban Meyer will be hired by a college team this year.
No.
Say no. I know
No.
Nebraska's, we don't know how official it is, but there's just smoke coming from there. Randy, what do you think?
No, but.
It's not yes, but. It's no, but.
No, I'll say no. I'll say no.
You
then.
say
I'll
no. Michael?
No.
I say no. I don't really understand. If you do your research, you would know. Not
He's
to
had his
hire him.
better days.
Yes,
That's a good way to
that's
put it.
right. All right, last one. Here we go, Jim. Area refs. Michael Best here. Michael
Ref
Best,
expert.
ref expert, but also he teaches an online Sunday school class. Right?
Amen.
So
I
on
do.
Facebook.
He's
Got
public
connections.
enemy number one for the zebras.
Well, here we go.
Hopefully they were missing.
We're going to combine that. We're going to
Got the
combine
information
that.
incorrect.
So area refs, watch Michael Best online Sunday school just to look for mistakes. What do you say, Jim?
I think so.
Say
He
yes.
advertises it enough that enough of them have seen it, so they're
That's
throwing
right.
flags all the time.
They're just hate watching you. What do you think? What do you think, Randy?
Yes, I'm
You
gonna
say
say
yes.
yes. Need to check with Mike Gammons on this.
I'm
one.
going to say if they saw a mistake,
Oh,
they would know they saw.
All right.
Mr. Best with
There
the
will be a
right.
letter from Georgia High School.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed our mistakes, and I hope you enjoy this weekend of high school and college football. We'll see you next week on the Press Box.
Well played. Well played.
I give you time to think of something.
That was
That was good.